And we are live on this November 5th evening at 7:30 p.m. We're recording after our son goes to sleep.
Yes.
Because that's what we have to do now.
Yeah.
And we upload once a month or less.
Yeah. Well,
We've been busy.
I feel like we have done one in the last month.
I don't know. It was a little bit ago. If you want to check that, you can. While I kind of, whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean,
it simply is what it is.
It is what it is. But the audience is clamoring to hear our thoughts. I know they are. I mean, the thoughts on millions of listeners that we get every month.
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, I know I'm being humble right now. I don't want to say billions because I don't want to.
You're underselling us.
I don't want to turn anybody away. I don't want to make people feel like that. Like, I want every single listener to believe in their heart that we are speaking to them.
Yes.
That we're doing this just for them.
Specifically you, Jessica.
Yes. I have a client named Jessica, and she's going to be thrilled. And if she doesn't mention anything about this, if I don't get a message from some Jessica, well, the Jessica who's listening.
The Jessica. There's one.
Yeah, just one. If I don't get a message from a Jessica, I'm going to be not like really upset, but I'm going to say mildly perturbed.
Good word.
Thank you. Thank you. I pulled that one out from the back of my brain.
Yeah, deep.
Hi, everybody. We are back with another episode.
Yes.
It's episode number 42. Holy moly. Wow. And today, I don't even know if this is going to be the title. That's the thing, you guys. I name it. I name it after the fact. I have an idea. Like, I know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
But but the title is like, I got to nail the title. So I want to spend a lot of time thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know?
So maybe instead of announcing the title, it's just the topic.
No,
they can read the title.
I'm committing to the title right now.
Okay.
The title is The 98% Rule, the easiest way to be healthy.
Oh,
you like that?
I like that.
You like that? Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't get the insights. I'm not allowed to look at the notes for the podcast.
No, because, okay, you guys, if you're on video right now, first off, you're going to notice two things. She has a mug of hot chocolate.
Yeah.
She did offer me some. I said no. I'm pretty far over my calories as is. And I have this glowing purple drink. It's like a Skittles powder thing. Yeah. Delicious. 0 calorie. So that's great. But wait, is it? I actually don't know. Oh, that'd be funny if it wasn't.
Yeah, we have no idea.
I have no idea actually. No, I just assumed it was. Anyway. But the other thing you're going to notice outside of the purple drink and the mug of hot chocolate over there is she's a screen looker. She's a serial screen looker. And you guys, I try to surprise not just you, the audience, but her as well with some of the things that I write, some of the topics that I bring up. She knows the general topic that we're coming in with, but I want to surprise her with some fun facts, with some different elements. I'm telling you, if you guys have ever played video games and you played split screen against your older brother or something, and your older brother was always screen looking and finding out where you were, so then he could sneak around the corner and get you. That's her.
Okay. In my defense.
Sure. Defend yourself.
In my defense, I have a problem of.
I agree.
Sometimes when we're talking, and especially when we start getting in the weeds of especially the science stuff, sometimes I cannot follow along. Sometimes I need the prompts. Sometimes it helps me keep on track of what's going on. And it's not because I'm completely brainless, but I just probably have undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah. Yeah. So mine is diagnosed. And the way it works with ADHD, if you guys don't know this, only people who are diagnosed with ADHD can actually, they're the only people who can diagnose others. You actually don't even need a medical degree to diagnose ADHD. You just need to have it.
Yeah.
And so I am formally diagnosing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you guys may have not known this. If you want a diagnosis, just shoot me a message on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know?
But I'm trying to be better. I'm trying. It's probably a good thing to not let me have the notes because now I'm always on alert of oh my God, is he going to ask me a math question?
Right.
Because sometimes you do that.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm sometimes I throw a percentage at you and you're like, hold on. You said, oh my God, you said 5% of 100. God dang it, dude. 5% of 100. What could that be? Yeah. I'm kidding. That's an easy one for you.
Yeah. 5. I just had to prove it to us.
You had to prove it to everybody listening. You're like, hold on, I'm on top of this. Before we get into today's episode, what have you been doing lately? You know, I mean, I know what you're doing lately because you work with me.
Yeah.
And you live with me and we do everything together.
Yeah.
The only times I don't see you are like when you go run errands sometimes, but even a lot of times I go run errands with you because we like being together.
Yeah. What do I do? I don't know.
Well, you've been doing that series with Milo.
Yes, on TikTok.
Yep.
And it will soon be coming to Instagram, but not the Meals with Maddie Instagram. Anyway, I do our son, Milo, 15 months old. We do some sort of activity, whether it's a craft or an outing or some sort of endeavor, pretty much every day. And I document it and share it online.
Yeah. What is it called? Creating magical moments for my toddler, something like that?
Sometimes, so it depends on some. I try out different titles sometimes, but sometimes it's just like day blank of 365 toddler friendly activities.
Trying to do it for 365 days.
Yeah.
And what day are you on right now?
9. I just posted 9.
Nice.
Or sometimes it's creating childhood magic, something like that.
Yeah, you guys, I think this is one. If any of you are investors, this is a series I would invest your time in. She's a follow. I would invest your mental space into because she's on the up. I have confidence.
Thank you.
On my end, been watching League of Legends Worlds. That's always really, really fun for me. I'm a big League of Legends fan. I've been reading and generally consuming stuff about metabolic adaptation. That's just, I always find stuff like that interesting. There was a new paper that found that exercise does increase energy expenditure. And it was kind of like, yeah, yeah. But there is a degree of energy compensation there, and so that's where kind of like the debates are. And anyways, it's a really fun area for me to follow because there's some people that I follow, like Eric Trexler, who works in Herman Poncer's lab, and it's just really fun to hear his insights on it and kind of see as this all develops. Other than that, I'm starting to get bigger. I'm starting to get more involved into YouTube. I'm not going to say bigger. I mean, I am slowly growing the channel. Obviously, like that's how it's going to go.
Sure.
But I am starting to do that, so that's really exciting. I hired an editor, so that's crazy.
I think long form content is going to suit you really well.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I just put out a video about a week ago on the potential RFK said that he was going to, there was like an article that came out that said RFK was going to recommend people eat more saturated fat. That's a really, really bad idea. Especially if you are somebody who has elevated LDL cholesterol. Even if you don't want elevated LDL cholesterol, higher risk of heart attacks and strokes. So anyway, I had fun putting that video together, and in general, YouTube is, I'm excited to get that going. And then, the software that we're building for coaches, Pivot, hopefully launching by end of the year. Really, really excited for that. I was actually just talking to a coach, shout out Leah, today, and was telling her about it. And she was like, is this out right now? Can I sign up right now? And like, what a vote of confidence. It was so awesome. Okay. You want to get into today's episode now?
I would love to.
That was like a whole little
I love a little spiel.
Yeah, we did a nice little spiel. All right, so the reason that I called this the 98% rule was your long-term health outcomes are driven by a very small handful of really boring but repeatable behaviors. It's not things like the hacks, the detoxes, the cleanses, the supplements, the extremes, so to speak. If you consistently hit the fundamentals that we are going to lay out in this episode, you're covering almost everything that meaningfully moves the needle in terms of your lifespan, your physical health, and to a degree, your mental health. And there's obviously a lot of things that go into your mental health. So, But so you might be asking, or the listener might be asking, why 98%?
Mm-hmm. I'm curious.
I don't know.
Okay.
I made it up. I made it up. It's my title.
I like it.
I felt like 99 was being a little bit too generous, maybe too extreme. And I'm a little bit more lax than that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And obviously 100% is unrealistic.
Unrealistic for sure.
And even 99% felt like clickbait. 98% felt like,
yeah,
hold on, he's got something here. All right. So the first thing I kind of want to talk about before we get into this like small myriad of topics is what does not contribute to health, or what contributes very little but is in the mainstream today. Are there any topics that come to mind for you that like people make a big deal out of but really don't move the needle that much?
I don't know how how small you want to be here.
Doesn't matter.
You know what I mean?
Just throw
like
something.
Stretching. You know what I mean? Like that's the smallest of small, but like you know what I mean.
Yeah. And like people, oh man, I'm gonna be persecuted for this, but mobility is all the rage right now. You have to be mobile. You're like, okay, all right, guys, are you immobile? Are you immobile? And so like, what is the definition of mobility? You know, so many people are preaching these mobility exercises. There are some big coaches who seem really solid, and for the most part they are, but they're getting real dogmatic about mobility and stuff like that. I wouldn't put it in my top. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I'd put mobility in my top 50 things to spend your time doing.
Yeah.
Like in terms of your physical health. The reason for this, my major reason for this is, let's say you're like, oh, well, my hamstrings, my back of my legs get tight. I can't touch my toes. First off, you don't need to touch your toes. That doesn't mean anything. But second, do a stiff leg deadlift. Like do a leg curl, do a stiff leg deadlift, because then not only are you getting that increased range of motion, but you're also building muscle and strength at the same time.
Right.
It's a 2-for-1. So if you're lifting weights through a full range of motion, you are getting the benefits of that mobility, except you're doing it with weight. So you're gaining strength. It's just like specific. I have done 0 mobility exercises, and I'm a very mobile person.
Yeah.
I can run, jump, I can sprint, I can touch my toes. Not that that matters. I mean, I can do all kinds of things, and I haven't needed to do any, like, I don't need to take 20 minutes 3 times a week into doing like, oh, I'm going to stretch my groin for 5 minutes straight. Like, you don't need to do that. And same thing with static stretching. So yeah. that's a whole diatribe.
I'm sure that wasn't exactly what you were looking for, though.
Well,
were you looking for things like cycle syncing?
Yeah, like cycle syncing, like
that's
like
a little
greens,
bit
powders,
more.
but
yeah,
sure. I mean, if you want me to dunk on mobility training, like
I don't know why stretching is
any
the first
day
thing
of the week, I'm happy to do that. So, yeah, one thing I wrote down here when I was kind of prepping for this was that people obsess over sprinkles, but they haven't bought the cake.
Oh,
you like that?
That's good.
Yeah, thank
you.
It's
a good sound bite. I like that.
Thank you. Somebody can we clip that? Somebody clip that for me. We're not doing this. Isn't live. Maybe someday. We could do it live though. We don't edit any of this out.
No.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right.
So, no, I meant like no. We don't edit it. No, I wasn't shutting you down. I don't care.
All right. For the people who are on audio, great. For the people who are on video, you're going to get a first time little treat here. I was looking back to see if my dog perked his ears up when I said that word. Anyway, what I wanted to do was I went to the New York Post, which is the most credible website on the planet. For those who don't know, if you're international or anything like that, like this is as credible as it gets. This is heavy satire for those who aren't familiar with my tone of voice. This is heavy satire. New York Post is a bunch of baloney. Anyway, most of the stuff on the internet and spouted by influencers is the stuff that you don't need to worry about. But this one in particular, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Okay, let's click that button. How was that? If you were on video, I hope you guys are like, whoa, that was high tech. All right, let's go ahead and go through this headline, which says, I was squeezed like a sausage inside a human upgrade center where biohackers optimize their bodies. You guys, if you are falling for stuff like this, I almost think you deserve to lose your money. Like I do. I think there's so much noise out there, but something like this, squeezed like a sausage inside of a human upgrade center. Okay, I'm just gonna like go through this article real briefly. So first, the headline is a red flag, but then I go to the very first sentence and it says, with everything I do, there's a free version, a cheap version, and the crazy billionaire version. Dave Asprey. Are you familiar with him?
No.
You will be in a moment.
Okay.
So he like I guess puts out he's like started creating these facilities. And just to also, I don't know if you can see in the top right of my screen, I have an ad blocker on right now, and it has blocked 4,000 ads and rapidly counting up in like the 10 minutes I've had this website open. This is insane. He has all these kinds of machines and different like biohacker things in here. Like this one, which is this like suit that you sit in, it puts infrared on your face and then it squeezes you. And he's throwing out words like lymphatic drainage. Can you just mute your?
Yeah.
It just there you go. Yeah, lymphatic drainage and stuff like that. And it's like, and I'm telling you, this is not part of the 98%. This is the stuff that does not matter. And I just want to, in case you're like, hold on, Dave Asprey, I've heard things about him. Okay. And I could do a whole episode on everything in here, but let me just switch the page. And I don't know if audio will come through on this. Let me just see if I'm kind of worried to press this button. I'm going to press it. I don't know. Or wait. Desktop audio. This should come through. I don't know if this will come through, but let's just see. No, I don't think it's coming through. Sorry, guys. This is my first time doing this. If you're seeing this, though, basically what he is promoting is urine injection therapy.
I do remember that.
And what he's saying here is that you take your urine, you pull it up, you draw it up into a syringe, and then you inject it, add lidocaine as well so it hurts less, he says, and inject it into your muscle, deep inside your muscle, because your body makes antibodies, and therefore this is a really good thing. That is the guy who's setting up these upgrade centers. That's a 2% thing. That's not a 2% thing, because I'm saying this is 100% health, right? That's a negative percentage. You inject yourself with urine, that's negative health. That cannot be, that's not right. So anyways.
Yeah.
We need to be helpful now. You know, we spent 18 minutes now being unhelpful, right? And just yapping. Let's get to the helpful stuff, okay?
Okay.
But I do feel like this will kind of go quick, because it's like, I don't know, to me and to you, I think this is pretty straightforward stuff.
They're also just, there are things that
it's common sense stuff. It's common sense stuff. Yeah. All right.
At least some of them.
The first one. So the first one, sorry to be a Debbie Downer. For my people who love Little Debbies. That was good. I feel like that was good. I didn't have that one written down. I was off the fly. Get to a healthy weight.
Mm-hmm.
That is really important. And I think a counterpoint to this sometimes is, well, what about health at every size? You know, there's a big health at every, or there was, it's kind of, I feel like it's not as popular as it used to be, but there was like a health at every size movement. And in some ways, you can be healthier at different sizes of a body, but you know, you can follow things like you can exercise regularly. You can have great social connections. You can be eating plenty of fatty fish and nuts and seeds and things that are high in healthy fats. And you can be limiting saturated fat. For example, you could be not smoking. You can do things that are very health promoting and still be in a bigger body. But can you be like, air quote, I don't love using this word, but like optimally healthy in a bigger body? No, unfortunately not. So are you familiar with metabolically healthy obesity, MHO? Are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Okay, so basically this is somebody who is classified as obese based on a BMI chart. And BMI, does, you know, it has its drawbacks, right? It's I think I'm technically overweight, but like I'm lean. I have a lot of muscle, right? So a lot of muscle. I need like it's a moderate amount of muscle. Um, I'm like 160. It's not like I'm like 220 friggin' lean, right? It's like come on now. There's levels to this, right? Mr. Olympia Arnold Schwarzenegger is not telling me like, oh, it's a big guy over there. He'd be like, Arnold Schwarzenegger's nice enough and old enough. He'd be like a promising up and comer, definitely natural. But metabolically healthy obesity, somebody who's categorized with obesity, but they have normal insulin sensitivity, normal blood pressure, good blood lipids, maybe low inflammation markers or inflammatory markers, and then no signs of like fatty liver or impaired glucose control, suggesting that they could be like pre-diabetic, for example. So all these things, these are really good. You don't want these things, but the problem here is that it's almost like borderline a ticking time bomb, because the longer you are obese, the more likely any of those things start to happen. And so I have a few studies that I pulled together for this. I'm just going to go through them rapid fire really quick. One of them is literally just titled Metabolically Healthy Obesity. And it just says like MHO lowers disease risk versus unhealthy obese, but remains higher than healthy lean individuals. Another one, metabolically healthy obese and incident cardiovascular disease events among 3.5 million men and women. This one, there were 3.5 million individuals over 5 years. MHO had a 49% higher risk of coronary heart disease and heart failure. That's really significant. Another one are people with metabolically healthy obesity, really healthy, a prospective cohort study of 381,363 UK biobank participants. I am blown away that they would put the exact number in the title. That seems
that is pretty
unnecessary. Anyway, about 380,000 individuals over 5 years. MHO developed higher rate of diabetes, fatal cardiovascular disease, heart failure, respiratory disease, and all-cause death, so on and so forth. There's 2 more studies here where they have higher rates of diabetes, higher rates of cardiovascular events, but I think you get the idea at this point that the health at every size movement, while I agree that I want people to be like happy in the body they are in, but to suggest that you can be as healthy as possible while also having excess adiposity or excess body fat, same thing. I'm just trying to use less sciencey terms. I love that I'm trying to use less sciencey terms. I'm like, are you familiar with metabolically healthy? Joker. But yeah, so get to a healthy weight. That's the main thing here. And whether you are underweight, whether you're overweight, you want to get to a healthy weight. If you're unfamiliar how to do that, it's a calorie deficit. Eat less calories than you burn every day. Use a calculator online to find your very rough estimated maintenance. Track your calories if you want to. You don't have to track your calories, right? But tracking calories can be a really good way. Just kind of keep you honest, get the data. And then if you're not losing weight, okay, you need to bring calories down. Probably by like, if you're really genuinely tracking very diligently and you're not losing weight after 2 to 3 weeks of weekly averages, you're tracking your weight 7 times a week and you're looking at week 1, week 2, week 3, weight is not moving down. Okay, you're at calorie maintenance. That's your actual calorie maintenance. And in that case, you need to bring calories down by like 500-ish. And then, rinse and repeat. Just keep doing that. Anything you want to add on that? Like, what would you do if somebody asked you, hey, how do I lose weight, but I don't want a calorie track?
One. Well, there's like a whole bunch of things, I guess. But one would be, first things first, just prioritize your protein and your fiber. Like prioritize the things that are going to keep you full. And fiber is a big one there. So I would start there. And then the second one would be just like, when you're cooking a meal that you normally have, scale it back by like 10%. Just start there. Like, you don't even need to use a food scale for that. You have a rough idea of what you typically eat. Just scale it back marginally and it'll get easier over time.
Yeah, I would specifically scale it back in the carbs and fats. Try not to pull from your protein.
Yeah,
The reason for
it's
that,
a good
and
caveat.
let's just move into the next section here, which is eat enough protein.
Yep.
The reason we want to eat enough protein is to maintain lean mass. Not only is protein like essential for many, many, many things, but we get enough protein for like the vital stuff. With pretty minimal intake, honestly. So it's somewhere around like 0.4 grams per pound. So we don't really need a whole lot. Now we recommend getting up to like 0.7-ish grams per pound, and above that is totally fine. 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. And more than that is totally fine, but there's not going to be like this huge, massive benefit for muscle growth much beyond that. Now that changes if you're in a calorie deficit. If that's the case, then yeah, you could go up a little bit higher, especially if you're a lean individual. Like when I'm kind of lean, but I'm pushing for fat loss a little bit more, I go up to usually 1 to 1.1-ish grams per pound of body weight. Now I will say that calculation of 0.7 grams per pound, if you currently have excess body fat, let's say you want to lose 20, 30 plus pounds, I would use your goal body weight. So if you are, let's say 200 pounds, but you want to be 160, I would use 160 times by 0.7, 112 grams. I think.
Yeah.
Seems about right. Yeah. Anything else to add to protein? So what are some sources of protein?
Lean meats,
Yep.
like chicken.
Yep.
I think sirloin is a leaner meat or like a leaner steak option than like a ribeye.
Yeah, animal products. So,
Yep.
Yeah, any kind of meat is going to be very high in protein.
And then beans.
Yeah, beans are.
Oh,
beans
but
are,
it's not complete, is it?
Yeah, it's technically an incomplete protein source. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, our body can synthesize. Oh God. Okay.
I shouldn't have given that
No,
example.
it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But, we're here to talk about the nuance. That's why long form is fun. So first, beans are an okay protein source, especially if you're vegetarian or vegan. Like anything that can add into your protein intake. Some people say it's not a great protein source because it's not as lean, on a per calorie basis as something like chicken, for example.
Mhm.
And I see where they're coming from. I just think that like, especially for vegetarians, which it can be a little bit harder to get protein in. I think like take the wins where you get them.
Right.
So for an omnivore, somebody who's eating both meat and plants, would beans be like, oh, I'm going to eat primarily, I'm going to get all my protein from beans? Like, okay, it's going to be a little tough to do, but vegetarians like, hey, I'm adding in beans once in a while. It adds in an easy 10 to 20 grams per day for my protein. It's like, okay, great. Maddie mentioned that it's an incomplete protein source. Now, what that means is protein is made of amino acids. So think of all these like Lego blocks, right? A protein is made up of these different types of Lego blocks. And if we want to build a cool Lego structure, we need a bunch of different shapes, right? Different blocks. Now, imagine if we got this castle kit. We wanted to build this castle, right? But when we got the kit, it only came with some of the pieces. Like we didn't have the drawbridge. We didn't have the pieces to make the moat. That would be incomplete, right? And so that is what that's what beans are, so to speak. They're an incomplete. Now our body can synthesize some amino acids on its own, and it cannot synthesize others. Those are the ones that are the essential. They're called essential amino acids. So if you see like EAA supplements, that's what that is. Now, somebody might be thinking, wait, hold on. Should I be supplementing with EAAs? No, I wouldn't worry about that. They're overpriced. And any like whey protein is going to be a complete protein anyway. And I also wouldn't say like, okay, well then should I not eat beans? No, I wouldn't say that either, because it really, you're probably not eating just beans, right? Like literally, like you're not just having beans and water throughout the day. You're probably having varied sources of protein. And so maybe beans are higher in some amino acids and they're lower or non-existent in others. But other foods like rice, for example, you're going to get different amino acids there. And so even though there are, incomplete protein sources in people's diets, it really probably doesn't make a huge difference. What a sidebar.
Yeah. I should have said tofu.
Yeah, tofu,
Lentils.
seitan,
Lentils?
lentils. Yeah, yeah, those are some good options as well for the vegetarians. Like seafood, we covered that obviously. Um, animal meat. Yeah. All right. I think that's good on protein.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about fiber.
Yeah.
You're the fiber queen. You love
Okay.
talking about fiber.
I wouldn't say that.
I
I
would.
just think that we spend so much time, not like we specifically, but in general, there's this huge protein movement.
Yeah.
We
The,
all
the
talk about
protein.
protein all the time, constantly. You need to eat more protein, this and that. You need to eat a vegetable.
Yeah.
And you know what? You need to eat more than one vegetable.
Two
You need to
vegetables.
eat a variety of vegetables
The rainbow.
and fruits
Yep.
frequently.
Yes.
Frequently.
Yeah. Over 90%. Somewhere estimates range it at about 95% of Americans do not eat enough fiber.
And I understand why, because you have to be pretty on top of it. Like, it's not just like, oh, I eat a banana and an apple every day and I have some
yes.
broccoli. Like, you should really track
You need to pump
your fiber.
You need to pump your fiber numbers. You need
up.
to eat so much more fiber than you think. You need to eat so much more, so many bigger servings.
Yes.
If you are having strawberries and blueberries and you have this like tiny little cup or you grab a
Yes.
handful every now and then, dog.
If you eat a salad,
double, triple it. Oh,
if you
go
eat
on
a
the salad
salad, like for lunch every day, and you're like, I'm getting my greens in, I'm
Yes.
getting my fiber in, you are eating essentially no fiber.
It's a falsehood.
If you chop up your romaine and your spinach, I'm telling you, you probably maybe have 2 grams.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that we came up with the same number. It's salad is so great from a volume perspective
Yes.
for keeping you full.
Yes.
From a fiber perspective, if you are literally just eating lettuce and then even throwing in spinach,
it is laughable.
It's a joke. A total, complete joke.
Yes. Raspberries are a great source of fiber.
Blackberries, raspberries, chia seeds.
I think it's raspberries, a half cup is 7 grams. I think off the top of my head.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes. But most people need to be getting between like 25 and 32-ish grams.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah.
More
is fine.
More is fine. Yeah.
But even 28 grams, you really do have to be pretty diligent to get there day after day.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't roll over.
No, it does not.
Every day you got to wake up and you got to think, okay.
Yeah, where am I getting my
28 grams?
Where am I getting my fiber from? And if you notice that this is like, if you start tracking, you're like, I'm at 5 grams.
Yeah, been there.
That's like normal for a lot of people. Now I'm gonna say like it shouldn't be. Like, I don't want to be like the stickler, or like a mean guy. But yeah, I mean, if you want to be healthy, fiber is one of those things that I would really focus on.
Yeah.
And let's like bring it back. If you were to focus on increasing your protein and your fiber, even if you didn't track it, and you are currently overweight, that will come down. If you go from 5 grams per day to 30 grams per day, 25, 30 grams per day of fiber, you are going to be so full, so satiated.
Yeah.
And same with the protein. If you start bringing up your protein and your fiber, your weight will probably just like on its own come down as a consequence of eating less calories because you are so full.
Yeah.
And that's basically how the GLP-1s work. There's a little bit more mechanistic to it, but like the gist of it is it makes people less hungry and fills them up faster so that they eat less. And I'm not saying like protein and fiber is equivalent to prescription medicine.
Right.
Like, no, but I just think that's like, some people think that, Zepbound or, whatever, Ozempic and GLP-1s in general, it's just like the weight just comes off you. Like, no, you're just eating less,
Right. Yeah, but fiber is very important. Fiber diversity is also very important. I talk about fiber diversity all the time. Yeah. We have a full podcast, I'm pretty sure, on fiber.
Yeah. Do you want to look up which one that was?
I'm not in
go to our Notion. Pull up our Notion. But yeah, one other thing about fiber while she's looking that up is if you notice that you are getting all of your fiber from like a wraps or some kinds of breads, like those are fine and they're totally okay to have, but they're usually pretty high in insoluble fiber. And without getting into the weeds of soluble versus insoluble fiber, like Maddie said, you basically just want a bit of diversity in your diet, both soluble and insoluble fiber. But again, this isn't on a nutrition label, so you kind of have to know a good bit about fiber to be able to tell you.
Sure.
You could Google it if you wanted, but I really wouldn't overthink it that much. Just try to get varied sources, and if you're getting 100% of your fiber from one thing, you'd be doing yourself a better favor. Also, the bacteria in our gut, we have different gut bacteria, and we don't know a whole lot about the gut right now. And by we, I mean like science doesn't know a whole lot about the gut right now, but it seems like there's probably a benefit to having a more diverse gut bacteria. And let's imagine that you had a classroom full of 10 kids, right? And each one of those 10 kids showed up every day because you had a specific food for them. One kid preferred pizza, one kid preferred brownies, one kid preferred cookies, one kid preferred broccoli, things like that, right? But one day you run out of pizza, and so the pizza kid stops coming to class. And he comes once in a while, but eventually he's like, whatever, I'm out. I'm gonna go somewhere else that has pizza. That's kind of what happens with your gut bacteria when you're not providing it a diverse selection of fiber. Weird analogy.
No, but I mean that's
yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, and so you want to, the idea of like eat the rainbow. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, the fiber episode is episode number 21.
Yeah, I think we really went into the weeds on like classifications of fiber, viscosity, soluble, insoluble, stuff like that. Yeah, that one was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from protein and fiber. So far, just a reminder, it is get to a healthy weight, eat enough protein, eat enough fiber. Next is limit saturated fat. So again, I just did a YouTube video on this that I think is a very fun 4.5-minute watch.
I agree.
It was pretty funny, I think. Anyway, you want to limit your saturated fat to reduce your risk of heart attacks and stroke. So the gist of it here, if you eat too much saturated fat, first off, let me just start here. Yeah, if you eat too much saturated fat, your LDL cholesterol is likely going to go up. If your LDL cholesterol goes up, more plaque is clogging up your arteries, and that increases your odds of heart attack and stroke. Now, there's a lot of genetic components to this. Some people can eat a lot of saturated fat and not see as much of a jump. And some people, they don't have to eat that much and they see a massive jump in their LDL cholesterol. So it's really, 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 really important to get blood work done like semi-regularly. Mm-hmm. If you haven't done it in the last 3 to 5 years, dude, I really recommend it, because if you can catch this early and just make some real small modifications to your diet, you are you're saving your own life. I mean, getting blood work done takes 10 minutes, it doesn't take that long. So this is something that, I'd really keep an eye out for. The American Heart Association recommends eating less than 6% of your calories from saturated fat. Now, real quick math. Let's say you eat 2,000 calories, right? And could be more, could be less, but let's just use that for easy math. 2,000 calories, 6% of that is 120 calories. Now, fat is 9 calories per gram. So 120 divided by 9, it's not a big number. It's like 13 grams, So 13 grams of saturated fat. What did I do the other day? The Baconator from Wendy's?
Yeah, the Baconator has
like 26 something.
I think it's 26 grams, maybe 28, something like that though.
Yeah. So, and I know you're probably thinking like, well, that's a Baconator. That's a Baconator. Okay, guys, look at your dairy intake, look at your cheese, look at your red meat intake. Mm-hmm. If you track your diet and you have a way to look at your saturated fat, like I use MacroFactor, use Code Alex, and that shows me my saturated fat intake, although most trackers, even free trackers, will show you that. Now, again, if your LDL cholesterol is in a really good spot, maybe you don't have to worry about this. But sure, if it is above 100-ish, I personally, if it were me, I'd be trying to bring it down. I would be trying to bring it down. Like mine, I think mine was at like 85 or something, and I'm happy it's sub 100, but even I'm trying to bring it down a little bit, because there doesn't really seem to be, this is not my area of specialty, like blood lipids. That's not, but I'm just trying to bring mine down even more. Anyway, anything else we want to talk about on the saturated fat front? What
maybe
is
what it
saturated
is
fat?
or like where you find it.
Do you want to cover that?
Sure. Like, unfortunately, a lot of the really yummy stuff, like your red meats, like bacon, it's going to be pretty high.
If there's a fat source that is solid at room temperature,
yeah, that's a really good example.
Odds are it is a saturated fat.
Yeah.
So
butter.
Yeah, butter. Any red meats.
Yeah.
Have a lot of saturated fat in them. Coconut.
Coconut is interesting. I didn't know that one.
Yeah. So anyway, stuff like that.
Like dairy products. Cheese.
Yeah, cheese. Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah, if you're interested in this, I would go check out my video because I kind of get into.
It's a really good video.
Yeah, thank you. And it's only 4.5 minutes, so it's on YouTube. Yeah, go check it out. Anyway, let's move on to the next thing. Let's talk about the flip side of fats, healthy fats.
Yes.
So the next thing that you can do to improve your health is eat fatty fish, or if you don't like fatty fish, like salmon, for example, supplement with fish oil. So the benefit here is you are getting a healthy fat, omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Now, technically, you can get EPA and DHA from chia seeds. However, technically, they contain a fat called ALA. I believe it is alpha linoleic acid. Your body can convert that alpha linoleic acid into EPA and DHA, but the conversion is abysmal. It is so bad. So you would need to eat so many. The calories you'd be getting from chia seeds.
Yeah, those little guys are calorie dense.
They're pretty calorie dense. Like it's a great source of fiber, great source of healthy fats. But like, I don't know, if you're trying to cut cows, don't
start with the chia seeds.
Like, you can keep some of them in there, but like if you're doing,
they are calorie dense though. Like a tablespoon is like 100. I was going to say 120ish. I could be making that up, but I'm pretty sure
it's like somewhere around there. But and if you're vegetarian or vegan, algae oil is a decent way to get EPA and DHA in. So yeah, eat fatty fish 1 to 2 times per week. And if you're not doing that, I would definitely consider supplementing with fish oil. Now, there are not many supplements that are worth your time, but fish oil is one of those. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, because we always give salmon as the example, but salmon is a very fishy fish. So some people don't like salmon, but other fatty fishes, based on this Google search, include mackerel, herring, sardines.
Nice.
Tuna.
Yeah.
Anchovies, and maybe lake trout and mussels.
All right. Well, great. Thank you for that addition. That's
yeah. We always do salmon.
We do salmon because
we eat salmon twice a week.
If not more.
I like salmon.
Salmon's great. Yeah, and it's so much easier to eat stuff when it's 1, delicious, and 2, it's like, this is good for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes meals so much more, I don't know, enjoyable in my opinion.
Yeah. Salmon is admittedly quite high calorie and expensive. That's why I also wanted to throw in some more affordable options. Tuna is probably pretty affordable comparatively.
Yeah. If I didn't have so many food allergies that limited, like I can't eat chicken and turkey. So it's like we need to have something that's not just red meat in there. And so salmon and shrimp are the things we splurge on.
Yeah.
When it comes to grocery bills, which are getting really expensive.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next 2 kind of go hand in hand. And I'm going to say this in order: limit alcohol and don't smoke.
Yeah.
And I just want to address the irony that anytime people say this, it is, you can go anywhere. You can go on the like any guidelines, American Heart Association, any dietary guidelines, right? And it says limit alcohol, don't smoke.
Yeah.
We know that alcohol is not healthy in any dose. We know that smoking is not healthy in any dose. What did I say differently in those sentences? Nothing.
Right.
Outside of, the first part, which is, why are we saying limit alcohol? We should say just don't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's an inherent expectation of like, well, you are going to drink, so just
Yeah.
drink less.
The societal norms around alcohol are pretty shocking.
Yeah.
I feel like I read somewhere, and I could be so off on this, but I do feel like I read that younger generations are drinking
Sure
less,
yeah, I'm pretty sure
which is great.
Yeah, vaping is on the rise.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we are reversing it. So soon it'll be limit
no
cigarettes.
Alcohol,
Don't
limit
drink.
Smoking. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also because alcohol is so normalized right now. I mean, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, smoking was quite normal. I mean, you'd go into a restaurant and they would say, do you want the smoking side or the non-smoking side?
Surreal.
As if it doesn't just travel.
Yeah. Do you want to cough over here or over there?
It's really cloudy in here, no matter where you go.
No, we can't open the windows. This is Applebee's. I actually remember going to Pizza Hut when I was young. Like, for some reason, I remember specifically Pizza Hut and being like, do you want smoking or non-smoking?
I remember Outback Steakhouse for some reason, because it's already like really dim in there.
Yeah.
It's all like candlelight.
It's all haze.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was going with this, but the societal norms around alcohol, it is pretty shocking. I do think, because we stopped drinking.
Yeah.
You stopped drinking before I did,
yeah.
But neither of us have really drank much at all in 3 years, maybe longer.
Yeah.
And I think for most people, once you cut it out, you don't really notice it.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, alcohol, like there is
the social events.
There is the social events. Like, we don't go to bars.
Nope.
We don't go to parties. So like that societal pressure is not there for us. And also, like, we didn't necessarily have
the friend group that was pressuring us.
That, and also like we didn't struggle with addiction.
Right.
So like I'm not giving this as a blanket statement of like, oh, you won't miss it. Some people may have a harder time eliminating it, but
no, and like, I mean, alcohol is like, it's fun. Like, drinking, drinking is fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, it's fun.
There have definitely been times where I'm like, a slight buzz, like a little tipsy warm would be fun right now. But like, it's a fleeting thought.
No, I know. For me, it was my hangover started getting so bad, and then I was like, you know what? I really want to build as much muscle as possible.
Yeah.
And like, I started caring more and more about my health.
That was
a big thing.
So like
the combination of those things. And then I don't know, just like reading some stuff about when you want to have kids, like men probably should stop drinking.
Yeah.
Like, that was an easy one for me. Now, granted, I was doing that way before we decided.
Sure, but that was like a pretty definitive. Yeah. For me, it was like once you started talking about how bad it was and I learned how bad it was, I was like, oh, dang.
Yeah. Have we done an alcohol episode?
I'm sure we have.
Yeah.
If not, it's probably on our list of like ones to do.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do a YouTube video about that eventually. Anyway, yeah, I know. Debbie Downers, like, limit alcohol. Like, don't, like, try not to drink. And if you do, don't drink in excess, because the harm goes up dramatically as you drink more, because your liver can only metabolize like so quickly.
We have not.
Okay, we haven't done an alcohol episode. We probably should do that at some point. Anyway, so let's just summarize the dietary section before we get into like the lifestyle, kind of like other stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the dietary section, real simple. Get to a healthy body weight. Whether you are underweight or overweight, we want to find that happy medium. And there's a wide range. It's not like you need to be X weight, X pounds on the money and stay there. Like, your body weight can shift a lot. But if you notice yourself creeping up, just run a fat loss phase. Mm-hmm. You know, get into a calorie deficit for a period of weeks. If you have a lot of weight to lose, it could be months. Mm-hmm. If you have a lot of weight to lose, like, I mean, it could be a year or more. And in that case, like, and in any case, really focus on the habits, the processes that you need to do. Focus on making them as habitual and mindless as possible. And then weight can kind of be the outcome, like the result, rather than this thing that you're constantly chasing. Because weight fluctuations, and they can really mess you up, mentally. I tell people all the time, track your weight daily. That way you kind of, and then look at weekly averages. That way you're, kind of blunting yourself. Anyway, I'm not going to get on that whole thing, but get to a healthy weight. first. Second, eat enough protein. So about 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. Eat enough fiber, about 14 grams per 1,000 calories, or 20 to 35 grams ish. More is fine. Limit saturated fat. Eat plenty of fatty fish or supplement with some kind of fish oil. Limit/don't drink alcohol, and limit/don't smoke cigarettes or vapes, or like marijuana, weed. Like probably just like stuff like going in your lungs is probably not a good idea. There's not a lot of research on marijuana in general. Edibles are probably better for you than smoking. I would be pretty confident saying that personally without having that research yet. But if you do need something, I'd probably err toward that. But yeah. Okay, let's talk about the active stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So first, this one's an easy one. Lift weights.
Yep.
Yeah. There's
a couple times a week.
I mean, muscle is it is the fountain of youth. You are going to age and you're going to see your peers, the people who are taking care of their body and lifting weights, and the people who are losing muscle. And it is going to be very shocking and jarring, what you see around you. You've seen those older people, people in their 70s, 80s, 90s who are still very mobile, and they are very strong, and they are, independent. You don't want to be 70 years old and not able to get off the toilet on your own. You don't want to need like sponge baths. You want to be independent. You want to be able to live in your own home, I assume. And so lifting weights, like that's the way to do it. There is no substitute for this. There is no substitute for lifting weights and taking your sets close to failure, creating that stimulus and telling your body, hey, we need to be more prepared for this next time. So you better go, build some goddamn muscle. And that's how it works. Okay. Make sure you're taking your sets close to failure. It's the number one thing that you need to do. It's the most important thing. If you're not doing that and you're just going in there and you're doing 20 pounds for 10 reps and you do that week after week after week after week after week, it's going to get you nowhere and you are wasting your time. I'm sorry to say, but that is the reality. You are wasting your time. Maybe trying to be Mr. Positive, you are definitely maintaining the strength that is required to lift 20 pounds for 10 reps. And that's just an example. It doesn't, don't go buy 25-pound dumbbells and be like Alex said on his podcast. Like we need the weight to be challenging. Yeah. And challenging for me is different than challenging for Maddie. It's different challenging for you, right? It's very, very different. She's way stronger than me. So you lift, 2 to 4 times per week. And if 4 times per week is too much, then go with 2 times per week. That's fine. 20 minutes, full body workouts 2 times per week. If you're doing that, prioritize compound movements, the multi-joint movements. So, do a squat, a hip hinge, a vertical and horizontal push and pull exercise. If you are glazing over right now and you're like, what is he talking about? Just join the Change Project. I take care of all this for you. I don't know, dude. I'm not trying to do like the sales pitch right now, but like find a structured program. Mine's the best. Mine is awesome. Maddie can vouch. She wouldn't lie to you ever.
Never.
Just join a Change Project, dude. That way you don't have to think about it, because you have too many decisions on your mind on a daily basis. Don't worry about what you need to do when you show up to the gym or you go, downstairs in your basement and grab the dumbbells. Just follow the plan that will work. Okay. Anything you want to add on the lift weights thing? I mean, talk about your experience with lifting weights. You versus me. I'm a nut job.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't really start lifting weights until we met and started dating. Like my form of exercise prior to that was way different. And I have like fluctuated a lot. When early on in our relationship, we would go to the gym 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times. Like I was always going with you majority. I think it really changed once we moved back here. Yeah. Now we have the home gym. I got pregnant. That really kind of changed things. And now I am trying to really stick to at least twice a week. sometimes 3 times per week. But my workouts are 20, 30 minutes. Like
they're
are
quick.
very short.
Yeah.
I do a lot of supersets in order to keep them short.
Yep. What's a
and
superset for those who don't know?
so instead of doing like the rest time in between sets where you just like sit down, I just do an opposite body part movement or muscle group movement.
Yeah.
So if I'm doing like a bench press, instead of like resting for 90 seconds or whatever, I'll just go do like a squat or whatever.
Yeah, literally anything that doesn't use the exact same muscle.
Yeah.
So it could be like a bench press into a row into a bench press,
Sure.
a bench press into a squat, a row into a squat, or a row into a deadlift. But you wouldn't want to do something like a bench press into an overhead press where you're working your anterior delts and triceps in both.
But most of my workouts are probably about 25, 30 minutes. I do 2 sets per exercise, typically like 5-ish exercises. And honestly, one thing for me is I don't turn on the TV. I don't listen to anything. I just like focus on getting through it in order for it to be as fast as possible. Now, a big part of that is because we have a child, like an infant, who cannot be left alone. So
for more than 20 minutes. So we throw them in a room for
that is not what we do. That is not what we do.
No, we take turns.
Yeah, we take turns.
But
and obviously you like before people are like, well, you could take longer, Alex, and wait. Yes, I know Alex could in fact wait 5 hours, 6 hours. Like
whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
But I don't really like being out there.
You do not. You want your workouts to be quick. Yeah, you want them to be quick. I either work, like bring in my laptop and I work, or I turn on like Dragon Ball Z. I turn on music, and I am having a time out there. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not always amped up to work out, but like I just do it. You know. Now my workouts, they are a bit longer. I'm doing. Where you're doing like maybe 8 to 10 sets total, I'm doing like 20 to 25 sets. And they take me like hour and a half, 2 hours. And sometimes a little lackadaisical. So it takes up to 2 hours. Like I could probably get it down to like hour 15 if I really moved quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and the reason that I'm doing that is just faster muscle growth. And there's diminishing returns to that. I'm sure there's a lot of content that I put out there on that, but like there's diminishing returns, the higher volumes. But yeah, if you do more work, you're doing more hard sets, you are going to grow muscle faster.
Yeah.
The ugly reality is because I've been lifting for so long and I've gained more muscle, me lifting 5 days per week, an hour and a half to 2 hours each session versus you lifting like 20 to 40 minutes per week with 2 sessions. You are gaining muscle probably faster. On like an absolute rate, you're probably gaining muscle faster than me.
Yeah. But that's also a good point of like, we have different goals. Like you are really striving to maximize as much muscle growth as possible. Yeah. Whereas I want to be stronger and build muscle, but like
you're doing it for the health benefits.
It's health.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So
yeah, for me, I just want to look like a freak. Like I want to just like look like like an insane person. All right, moving right along. So yeah, lift weights. Next, don't be sedentary.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do have to get up and
we have to move our bodies.
Yeah. I love rotting on the couch.
I know.
And unfortunately, we have to limit that.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. The difference in all-cause mortality, like death, between being sedentary and being active is, it's shocking. So there was a study from earlier this year, and it compared 2,000 versus 7,000 steps. It was by Professor Ding Ding. That was not his name is Ding Ding. It's not like a glitch. Anyway, compared 2,000 versus 7,000 steps. 7,000 steps compared to the 2,000 was associated with a 47% lower risk of all-cause mortality, 47% lower risk of cardiovascular disease mortality, 37% lower risk of cancer mortality, 38% lower risk of dementia, 22% lower risk of depressive symptoms, and 28% lower risk of falls. The difference between 7,000 and 2,000 in terms of time, it's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes extra per day. And you don't have to do it all in 20 minutes. In like a 1 20-minute span. You can break it up throughout the day. Just pace around your house more. Get a walking pad. Like, don't overthink this, but make it brainless for yourself. Make it part of your routine so that you're not like every day, like, oh my God, it's 9 p.m. I'm at 2,000 steps. Like, you need to model your lifestyle and your environment to make this as easy as possible for yourself. And if you do that, you are going to be so much healthier. But if you find that you are currently at 2,000 steps, this is one of the biggest needle movers.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I think if you're listening to this, well, actually, I shouldn't say that.
what were you going to say?
I was going to say, if there are two things to focus on that are going to make really big differences, it's fiber and steps. But then I was thinking, like, that's such a blanket statement. Obviously, there's a lot of nuance to that. And then I was thinking, okay, like, you should probably work out a little bit.
Yeah, ooh, that's tough.
So then I was like, let me pause.
Yeah,
it's kind of a caveat.
Yeah.
But I think steps and fiber are two that are overlooked when it comes to like a health pursuit.
Fiber for sure is overlooked.
Yeah, and they're two that people don't realize they're so low on. Is kind of where my brain was at.
For me, I still think that lifting weights, I think like...
Yeah, that's why I was like...
I still think lifting weights is somewhat, listeners to this podcast, I would say I'd very roughly estimate probably 80 to 90% of them are lifting weights or have done it. But if we look at the greater population, what's the percentage of people that are lifting weights, not doing Pilates, not doing cycling classes, not doing like some dumb workouts that like, they're lifting weights, but they're like either really low weight, maybe they're group classes. Sorry, if you love group classes, I used to be a group fitness instructor. In my opinion, it's great if you get a little more structure than that, if you want, more efficient results. But I don't think enough people just follow a structured training program, like for a long period of time. Yeah. And I think that's what's missing for a lot of people. But steps and fiber are definitely overlooked. All right, let's move through these last few real quick. Okay. So the next one, sleep 6+ hours, ideally 7 to 9. Yeah. More would be fine too. And if you are like, can't do that, I have kids, I have, I'm night shift, for whatever reason, if you can improve your quantity of sleep, the amount of time that you sleep, try to improve your quality. Yep. You go ahead and handle that. Yeah. Yeah. I would try to recommend getting at least like 1 4-hour stretch at a time if possible. But I mean, like we said, easier said than done, especially if you are a parent of like a young child. Yeah. But as far as ways of improving your sleep, we talk about making your bedroom, like your sleep environment, as cave-like as possible. So blackout curtains or an eye mask. An eye mask is a way cheaper way of achieving that than getting blackout curtains. What else? Eliminating any like lights. Like if you have like the LED light on your TV or whatever, like covering that with some tape or whatever. What else? Cool it down. Quiet and dark, as cave-like as possible. So dark, you nailed. If you can't block out the light, wear an eye mask. Cool it down. And if you can't, if air conditioning is, if you don't have air conditioning, or if it's just like way too expensive, which I get it, and you can't open a window for some reason, wear lighter clothing, minimal clothing, lighter sheets, or throw a fan on. Yeah, cotton is a lot more breathable, so I would go for cotton fabrics. And then quiet it down. So there are a few ways to achieve this. Either, try to drown out outside sound, or try to just eliminate any sound, or try to drown it out with a noise machine, like a white noise machine, or potentially even use earplugs. Yep. So those are the main things that are really good for trying to make it, maybe consider charging your phone outside of the room and getting something like an old school alarm clock, or just like charge your phone on the opposite side of the room so you have to get up if you use that for your alarm clock. Because a lot of people just spend time scrolling in bed. Yeah. Some people recommend doing like a nighttime routine to make it easier to fall asleep. You're kind of like priming yourself. It's more like habitual. Yeah. If you have racing thoughts, you're just like thinking about whether it's the next day or just like stress from the current day, whatever it is. One thing that I frequently recommend is a brain dump. And whether that is on your phone or whether that is like a pen and paper notebook that you keep by your bed, just it's as it says, a brain dump. Write down anything that comes to mind. I don't care if it's like
gibberish.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything. It can be a to-do list for tomorrow. It can be just writing, positive or negative thoughts about your boss's interaction that you had earlier that day. Literally whatever comes to mind, just write it down. It helps just kind of declutter your mind and get it out of your head. That way you can stop thinking about it as like frantically. So that can be a good one.
Yeah. Anything else? Oh, my favorite tip is separate comforters.
Oh yeah.
If you sleep next to someone. Yeah, that's one we did, and it's incredible.
Huge.
Yeah,
so huge.
Yeah.
Next, find a hobby you enjoy. And this can be one, if you want to kind of pair it with the movement thing, it can be one that's active, like golf.
Sure. Yeah.
Disc golf is free.
Ice skating.
Yeah, sure. Ice skating.
Whatever.
Yeah. But honestly, anything that's like relaxing or enjoyable. I don't know. What's the point of life if you're not like somewhat enjoying it?
Right.
I guess productivity and like making shareholders more money, that could be a valid thing to think about like a lot and like really dedicate your life toward, like value. How can I make the shareholders more money?
Yeah.
I need to be more productive. I think that's a good thing to think about. But, if you're already making the shareholders a lot of value, then maybe a hobby wouldn't hurt either.
Yes.
What are your hobbies?
My latest hobby, my newest hobby, as of maybe 6 months ago, is bread making.
Yeah.
Man, 6 months ago is probably too long. But
we talked about this on the last episode, and you talked down on your bread capabilities, and I hyped them back up. Your bread is amazing.
I think I make a good loaf of bread for us. There we go. But like, it's just different. There are levels to it. You know what I mean? Like there are levels to it.
I guess. I don't know. I like the bread you make.
Thank you. I like it too. I think it's great. But I wouldn't say that I'm getting a perfect loaf every time. I think I get a pretty good loaf.
Yeah. And my hobbies are chess, I'd say, is probably my number one hobby right now, actually.
Yeah. Especially this time of year. It's not golf.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I play chess literally every day. There has not been a day I haven't played. I don't think there's been one day I haven't played chess since I started January 1st, 2024.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a single day I haven't played chess. Mm-hmm. I watch chess. I play chess. I study chess.
Yeah.
I read about chess. I mean, it's kind of, I just like the pursuit of getting better.
Yeah.
And this is something where there's such a high skill ceiling. And I'll never achieve that.
It's also nice that it's like a very clear progression. Like there's a number associated with it. You can see your progress.
That's actually one thing that I always like in games that I play too, is I like having that clear progression, like a rank associated with it.
Yeah.
I just like being good at things, and so I spend a lot of time trying to get good at things.
Yeah, I like more creative hobbies. I think the next hobby I'm going to start is scrapbooking. I think I would really enjoy that.
I think you would too.
Yeah. Anyway,
do you want to plug your thing that you're working on or no?
Let me get something.
Okay.
Because like, where do they go?
Valid. Okay, sure. Next podcast next month. All right. The last two things are find community and be social. And this actually could go back to the hobby you enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm on this email list where every week they invite me out to soccer. Now, I've never done it. Well, I've done it, I think, twice. I think I did it twice. Once on my own and once with Gary.
Yeah. Maybe 3 times. But anyway.
Just twice, I think. Maybe 3 times. Yeah. Anyway. But, being social significantly reduces your chances of both dementia and depression. So I don't know, if you want to keep your mental faculties, I guess, like talk to somebody every once in a while. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Have a friend group, just a single friend, if you don't have that, maybe try to get involved in something, whether it's like charity around you, like a soup kitchen or something like that, a food bank, or Maybe there's like a book club that you are a part of.
Yeah.
Find a circle that works for you. Maybe it is a pickleball league, just something, and everybody's new to it at first, right? So
Right.
you're not going to be out of place by starting something like that, or by, going to something like that. And, if you were in that group and somebody new came, how would you act toward them? Well, you'd be like, oh my gosh, here, welcome. I'll take you under my wing. I'll show you
Yeah.
around, and that's the same way that you're going to be treated 99 times out of 100.
Yeah. If you need like a starting place of where to kind of find a community, check out like your local library. They probably have some events or groups, things like that. I know our local library is very involved with the community things. And the other thing, kind of a follow up to what you just said, is like, if you are in a group setting or in, a member of a community, and you notice new people coming, be really welcoming. Because it's scary to
especially once you're out of high school
by
and college.
yourself. Going somewhere by yourself and like trying to become a part of something. That's hard. So be warm and kind.
The bonus kind of thing that I'm going to add in here is like, and this is seriously a bonus, is supplements. There are not many that are worth your time. I mentioned the fish oil earlier. Creatine and maybe vitamin D. I would get your blood levels checked on that to see if it's worth it. But people in the northern half of the, well, I guess southern too. Like if you're in Antarctica,
far enough down.
You go far enough down, you're not getting as much sunlight either. But yeah, if you're not getting a bunch of sunlight year round, then vitamin D supplementation could be a good idea. Creatine supplementation, I think, can be beneficial, at least from if you want to increase your rate of muscle growth. I take it every day. I do powder, not gummies. Okay. That's everything. So let's go ahead and just summarize everything that we talked about. So if somebody wanted to be healthy, physically healthy, what would you tell them to do? In order. You go ahead and summarize it for the audience. Not in order in terms of like priority, but just in order of what we talked about.
Yeah. Yep. So we started off talking about achieving a healthy body weight.
Yep.
And then we talked about eating enough protein and fiber.
Yep.
And then limiting your saturated fat intake. And on the flip side of that, wanting to eat some fatty fish or supplement with a fish oil for omega-3s. And then limit or completely eliminate your alcohol, and then also don't smoke.
Yep.
Those would be ideal. And then as far as being active, we just really want to avoid being sedentary. We want to work out, specifically strength train, lift weights a couple times a week, ideally, and make those workouts challenging. And then we should be aiming for at least 6+ hours of sleep, ideally 7 to 9. And then these are just some feel-good ones. Find a hobby you enjoy. Find community and be social.
Yep. That's everything.
Yeah.
If you do those things, you are so far ahead of any of these biohacking losers, these the people drinking colostrum and greens powders and reds powders, and they have a supplement stack that's hundreds of dollars a month, and you're flying by them, just moving your body a little bit, lifting weights in your home gym or, a full gym, whatever, and eating your fruits and veggies. That's all you need. Don't overcomplicate it. This should be easy for you. It should be brainless. It takes work at first, but it gets easier over time. That's our episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Check out the Change Project. It's a great program. Macro Factor, still affiliated with them. Dropped all my other sponsorships, but Macro Factor, use code Alex for a 2-week free trial. And if you are a coach, stay on the lookout for my software I'm developing and launching, hopefully by end of this year. It's called Pivot. So that's everything. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and take care. We'll talk to you soon.